Well, hey there, folks. Welcome back to another episode of Michael in the Backyard. Well, it's more Michael in the shop today. And once again, you catch me shop vacuuming the floor because just rolled a job out of there and it's, left it a little dirty. So I want to get the floor cleaned up because we're getting ready to move a lot of stuff around inside the shop today. I've been having trouble getting out my back door. Ever since I put this pallet racking in, it has had the door blocked partially by it. And I decided to pick today to be the day that we're going to rectify the situation. So as you can see, I'm moving all the 4-cylinder, 6-cylinders on the floor that I've got on wheels for a reason. So I can move them around easy and do whatever I want, whenever I want. Some might say, you got way too much junk. I'd argue the point that it's not junk, it's my little treasures. Cool part is, we're going to make it better. Every day you just work a little harder. This is one of those projects that wasn't a difficult project to do. It wasn't going to take a lot of complicated thought or process. It was just I'd call it relaxing type project. You don't have to troubleshoot anything. It's just going to work. As you can see, I keep some motor oils, engine oils, and whatever up there on the shelf, along with a bunch of old parts, spare parts, and whatnot. Now, this particular shelving has that wire mesh racking to support it. That'll also have to be cut down because I'm going to be shortening these things up a little bit. Now here's an old Ellis saw that I've had for well over 20 years now, and it's got a blade in it that's a little coarser than it should be for this type of material, but as you can see, it cuts very nicely. And time lapse, this is in time lapse. That gives you an idea how slow it's actually going, but that's on purpose. I'll explain later. But I like cutting stuff in the saw like this because I can actually have the saw doing some work while I'm doing some other work, and it just makes you feel like you're twice as productive. So I'm sitting around thinking, looking at the back wall, going, wonder what I should do next. And I'm like, there it is. Let's move that thermostat. That thermostat has been there well before I put the racking up. Then I put the racking up and didn't want to move it. But then, it's not in an ideal situation. So we got that out of the way while I was waiting for the saw cuts to happen. Once we get all the saw cutting done, we can move on to the next step in the process. As you can see up there in the background, there's a channel I like to watch. This guy is named Blue Gabe. Maybe that's something you guys watch too. He does some fishing, hunting, and all kinds of other stuff. So I have him playing in the background while I'm doing what I do. All right, folks, you might be asking yourself, what's he doing? Well, as you can see on this half of the shop right now that I have cleaned out, I've got everything piled up, 3 totes high and all that fun stuff. And this takes up a lot of space. Now, obviously, these 3 outboards weren't necessarily under that mess, but everything else over there was. So you realize, 32 square feet over here going up like I have over here to the right does for you versus how much space it takes up here. Obviously, shelving does do something for you, right? So the only thing that's bugged me about this whole thing is this thing here was in front of the door, only allowed the door to open up about 30 degrees, which when it doesn't swing all the way open, it's a pain in the rear. But also, if I hold it open, bring it all the way open, I can have a cross breeze in here in the springtime and the fall time, which is really nice to be in here with an insulated ceiling, insulated walls, and just enjoy the coolness that the shop has naturally in the spring and the fall. So what I've done here is I cut at the bandsaw here. Nice clean cut. I just put a new blade on here, and that blade is a 610 very tooth blade, which is not designed to cut this, but so you have to slow the feed down nice and slow so the teeth aren't grabby and catching, right? Well, as you can see here, from this face here to here, I've shortened it up 9 inches. That'll put this piece of vertical bar about 2 to 3 inches behind the door opening, so the door can swing to a full 90 and maybe just a little bit beyond, which would be perfect. So, and the other interesting part about this, I was looking at these, how they're built, and I thought, man, I'm gonna have to cut this weld all the way around. And wait a minute, they don't weld all the way around. This has a bead here and a bead here. That's it. I'm like, well, that's, you know, pretty much a cakewalk to redo. So I've got my death wheel on my electric, not my cordless, on my electric, so I get maximum power and speed. I got a little wheel on it here with my guard. I'm using my face shield. But you might ask yourself, what's this pan for here? Well, I'm going to fill this little pan with water, so while I'm grinding straight down, the water's going to catch all the dust and keep it all here and not all over my floor. And just, you know, why not? It's going to just kill the sparks. I won't have them all down my pant leg and whatnot. So we're going to do that. We're going to grind these off, flush to here. We're going to get rid of the paint, a little bit of paint on both sides of here. And I'll be ready to put these back on and just run me a bead of weld down each side. And these beams can go back up into place. And then I can put all this stuff back up there. And yes, this is all to get my door open all the way. Because there is times that I want to carry stuff out that door, but I don't, just for the simple fact that it's a pain to carry something and try to get through that 30-degree opening. That's all there is to it. So that's what this project's all about. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward, but it's something to help improve the shop and give me a chance to look at each tote, because all my totes, as you guys know, they're not cheap. You can buy those black totes cheaper, but when you've got clear totes, I don't have to guess what's inside them. Now, I do write on the front of them what's in them, except for Exhibit A. I didn't write anything in there, but what is that? Huh. But I do have some engine covers up here that are taking up some space. Also, I used to have my thermostat right here, and it's been there before I put this up, and I'd have to reach through with a poker stick and adjust my heat up and down. That's just my heater control. The window air has remote control. This would be a perfect opportunity for me to go ahead and, let's just say, clean some of this this filter back here, so we're ready for the summertime. But I want to move my thermostat from way back here, because I did transplant my light switches to up here. So I'm going to relocate my thermostat over to a wall by my rags over here, which is enough wire there to do it. And that way I can easily access it in the winter time next winter. I shouldn't say next winter because, well, I've been running off the thermostat that's on the machine itself. Right now where the setting is, it's keeping it about 64 degrees in here, which is plenty warm for working in shorts and short sleeve shirts. But I also don't mind the digital over here. This heater, it's a Dynaglow 7,500 watt heater, keeps me above freezing out here all winter long. Even when we're 20 below, I can keep it at 55 out here. But that's also because the shop itself is well insulated. Can't say so much about the leakiness and the tightness of the doors, but it works. And it's not cheap. It's not cheap. It costs you, this is going to sound ridiculous to everybody else in the world, about $150 a month to heat this shop. But being able to come out here and do stuff in the wintertime, pick your poison. This is a little bit of an oasis for me out here because I've got my TV and I can have playing in the background while I'm working on stuff. And I can do a lot of work in here. As you see, I pulled the GMC Terrain in here and did that work. The Jeep, I came and brought it in here and got frustrated and pulled it back out of here. It's back out parked on concrete until I get in the mood to work on it again. And then, you know, Big Mo happened. So that'll be another video as to what happened to there. You might have already seen it by now. I'm not sure when this video is going to launch, but I think the next one next weekend. This will be the following weekend. Yeah, something like that. All right. Thought I'd catch you up to that point. What you're going to see next is me grinding and welding and reassembling and then starting to put things back on the shelf. And then we'll see if there's another project that we can tackle in this video that we just need to get done. Right now it's unusually, I call it unseasonably warm weather. So there's part of me that wants to bring that dented Alumacraft in here. Is it Alumacraft? I'm trying to remember now. And see if I can start stripping it down, But I don't want to get too many irons in the fire on too many projects, but I need enough to bounce back and forth and do some things. That would be a good one for the boat channel for sure. The dent repair, if I can pull that dent back out and get at least that part done, and then the interior all needs to be 100% replaced. All the wood is rotted in it, but it'd be a really nice boat, fishing boat, to get that done either for myself or, you know, have somebody else put it on the water. All right, enough chit chat. Let's get in to do some cutting and grinding and welding and maybe even a little touch-up paint. I got some, I still got some yellow. I got some, oh, this might be a close match too. Look at this, look at this. How close are we? We ain't too far off there. We'll take a little Big Mo paint. Maybe touch up them welds that are up front here and on the back, so there again, they won't rust. It don't rust in here anyway, just because with the heating and the air conditioning, it keeps the humidity well under control. And if those guys, I know I had for many, many decades, I didn't have a heated or cooled shop for a few years. And when you go to open your toolbox drawer like this, and all these wrenches would be just sweaty. Just the way it was. That all goes away as soon as you heat and cool your shop. All right, let's get back after it. We'll talk to you a little more after we're done with this project, and we'll see how that went for me. See if that's something. There again, you can buy used pallet rack stuff like this, and don't be afraid to cut it down to where you want it to be. Now, my cutting and welding might be a situation where you guys, that's going to weaken it. No, it's not. I'm going to put a professional weld on here, as you'll see, and it'll be every bit as strong as it was from the factory. Actually, putting my weld on it might be just a touch better. Yeah, I'm bragging on myself. You know, if you don't brag on yourself, nobody else is going to do it for you. All right, let's get busy and get back after it, folks. I know a lot of people call this little wheel that I'm using, a little cutoff wheel, the death wheel, because it's dangerous. Those can fly apart. But do yourself a big favor. Don't buy the cheap garbage. Buy a good quality blade, pay a little more for it, and you'll notice it'll last longer and it won't break down in sections. You know, I've had grinding wheels that grind really good and all of a sudden they feel like they're just falling apart. And then you grind some more and they kind of come back together. So make sure you buy a good quality one. Now, as you saw there, I ground on the, what do you want to call the crossbar a little bit there to knock the paint off so I can get a good clean weld in there. And I'm using some magnets in here to hold these two pieces in place. I'm eyeballing them. I'm looking at the other side, seeing how it's setting in there, and then I'm just eyeballing that, lining it up, squaring it up. Just like I said, just a good eyeball job. And it works really well. These things aren't what I'd call super precision, but you don't want to have them on there too crooked either because it'd make it a real pain to assemble. And these all went together real good. So just one bead down the front, one little short bead down the back, done. I'll take my little stainless wire brush and wire brush it off and then hit it with some of that Big Mo color, it's Ford New Holland paint that I picked up. Now the window back there looks like it's got a big crack in it. That's just something leaning against the building from the outside. But the nice thing is I got my first beam up. I can put that rack in place and you can already see that the door has plenty of space to open up now. I threw a level on it to make sure it was level. Swung the door open just to, remember what it was like to have that door swing wide open. And let's keep going. We got 3 more to go. So I vice gripped it basically down to my bench and I got another vice grip to stop it from sliding and just put that slicer right down the middle of that weld and just break it off, grind off any excess weld that might be left that it didn't get. And this one you'll notice I forgot to grind the paint off of the actual piece of tubing itself, and I realized that partway through, and then I tacked it, and then I just ground off the there you go, ground off the paint, and then she welds nice and smooth. Wire wheel again, little paint. You can see it blends right in. That paint actually matched crazy close. You can't hardly tell that it did anything. And now we got the back pieces up. That one was a little stubborn because the floor isn't exactly square, hence the big crack in the bottom you see. Now I'm taking the opportunity to clear off the air conditioner filter so it'll be ready for next spring. And I use my shop vac in there to remove some of that dust. And with a little bristly thing on it, it helps knock the dust out of the fins, suck it up without bending them over. Looks like we're down to number 3 here. A couple more beads of weld. This didn't take very long to do. It's just, you know, the setup and the cleanup and all that stuff. It's not, like I said, not hard work. It's just work that needs to be done. Now I'm measuring for the wire mesh. I need to shorten up that wire mesh about 9 inches. And so it'll fit in there. And we just cut that with the wheel anyway. Alrighty folks, let's show you what it looks like. I know it's not anything special or much different, but the good news is now I can now walk freely in and out of my door. It opens full width. The racks are now reorganized. Labeled be even better than they were before, except for that one with the orange rag in front of it. But I can see that it has rags in it. But I got boat covers over there that I'm going to pull a boat cover out because I got to do some stuff outside. I'm going to have to utilize a boat cover on a couple of boats. One boat, actually. Because I got to get some boats out and do some... You'll see. It's coming. But yeah, I'm pretty tickled with how this turned out. I still got a couple things to put away. I got my EcoFlow sitting here. I need to find a home for it where it lives in a safe spot. Along with its solar panel and stuff like that. I got several hoods that need to go out behind the lean-to up on the shelf back there. This bench is somewhat cluttered, but these tools here, and this tool here, and that tool there could be right there. I got a couple of things going on, a couple of separate little things going on. I got a little project I can do with my little torch here. But got a big project coming in tomorrow night. And that's what I got the welder out here and the weld table front and center to do that job. And I think I'm just going to include, I don't know what I'm going to do. We'll see how this video goes. This might be the end of this video. Yes. But anyway, that's all we got going on out here. That was a fun little project to get knocked out. That's been bugging me ever since I put those racks up. That's been bugging me, that back door. I thought, well, can't I just cut the wall out and move the door over? As you can see, it was a heck of a lot easier just to shorten up 4 posts 9 inches and make that happen. I also relocated the thermostat now. Thermostat is now over here on this wall. Now this one here on this particular, you can barely see it there. It's right there, in the middle. But on this heater, you can switch it in the back to actually have a remote thermostat. Or you can use this right here. The nice thing about the remote, I know exactly what temperature it's going to hold it at. I got it set at 63 right there. It's 63.9 over here on the wall. So the other one, you can put it in a position and it holds you. You know, you check it about a few hours later and go, oh, it's holding at 57. But there's no exactness as there is with the thermometer or the thermostat. So anyway, that's all there is to do about that. We got a lot of neat stuff coming up. The weather has been charming, to say the least. It's been unseasonably warm for the past couple weeks. I've got some stuff done. I broke Big Mo. Yeah, by now you know I broke Big Mo. And that's going to be a big project coming up here real soon. Probably this weekend. Right now, this video is probably a week or so behind. Probably a week behind. But by the time you see this video, I will already be a weekend tearing Big Mo down. I'm going to ask you guys for some advice on some stuff. How would you do this? Get some feedback from you guys. But it's going to be tearing the entire front end off of Big Mo because I blew a hose somewhere underneath. And that's going to be a job. But it's one of those things, yeah, I expect it. It's good stuff for you to watch me work on stuff. I'd rather be running the Big Mo than working on it. But, you know, it's 1975 backhoe. 49-year-old backhoe, you're going to have some of those things happen. So this is Michael saying, if it ain't broke, fix it till it is. And then break it again and fix it till it is again. Or, you know, something like that. We'll see you on the next video. I'm out. Be good to one another. And we'll see you real soon. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, do all that other fun stuff. I appreciate it. We're growing and going. And this summer, give me your feedback. This summer, I'm thinking about doing some merchandise on stuff. T-shirts with Big Mo on it. t-shirts with and hats and stuff with Big Blue on it. If you guys don't know who Big Blue is, you need to check out my RMD Creations channel. Most of you regular followers know exactly what I'm talking about. All right, I'm out. This was fun. Next project, please.